Welcome back to the Pump YouTube channel. Today's video will be rather unique as we will be covering our guide for international students interested in a Canadian pre-med program. Undoubtedly, Canada is one of the most beloved study abroad destinations in the world. The highly appealing urban and multicultural environment of Canada inspires many study abroad dreams. International students are storming Canada each year with large ambitions, with lenient norms and ample job opportunities. However, at the same time, it is also important to pay attention to the fact that Canada is receiving thousands of applications daily, making the competition tougher. It implies that for admissions as well as for job opportunities, you'll be competing with a flurry of international students. This is where professional help can be of great value to fuel your dream of studying in Canada. In today's video, we'll cover all you need to know about studying in Canada, from student visa procedures to living costs and job options. Along with the academic exams needed for admission, we'll also provide information on the best pre-med programs to study in Canada. So let's get started. In Canada, each province and territory is in charge of its education system. Going over every detail would take us hours, so we suggest you consult websites such as EDU Canada, Universities of Canada, and ministries and departments responsible for education. These websites contain key information about international students, about universities in each province, with study program searches, costs, and more to help you plan your university education. These websites will be linked in our pinned comment. Popular universities include the University of Toronto, the University of British Columbia, McGill University, McMaster University, Queen's University, Western University, and the University of Ottawa. The best program to apply for would be an honors bachelor's in health sciences, life sciences, medical sciences, or even biomedical sciences. Once you choose a school, college, or university, you must apply to go there. Every school has different rules on how to apply. Make sure you apply to your post-secondary program at least a year in advance. Contact the school where you want to study to learn how to apply. They'll give you a list of all the documents you need to send them. Your school will be able to tell you about key information such as costs to apply, tuition fees, health insurance, rent, how much it costs to live in Canada, and language tests. We will also be covering some of this information, but generally. Fill out this application form for the school or schools of your choice and follow their instructions to submit them. If the school admits you as a student, they'll send you a letter of acceptance, which is needed to apply for a study permit. The academic and language proficiency requirements are specific to each program and each university. Your academic proficiency is generally determined by your grade point average, cumulative class average, and maybe even standardized test scores, depending if your program of choice requires them. The most common standardized test that international students find themselves doing is the SAT. This is a multiple choice computer-based test that consists of a math section and an evidence-based reading and writing section. This exam is 2 hours and 14 minutes long, and each section of the SAT is scored on a 200 to 800 point scale. Your total SAT score is the sum of your section scores, making the highest possible SAT score a 1600. Additionally, you must also meet language proficiency requirements through standardized language tests. The three most common and most accepted tests are the International English Language Testing System, the Test of English as a Foreign Language, and the Pearson Test of English. In IELTS, your English language skills are tested in 4 key areas: writing, reading, speaking, and listening. 6.5 is generally accepted as an overall score, and 6 per section at Canadian universities. There are 2 types of exams, academic and general training, and the test you take would depend on what your university choice is looking for. TOEFL is another widely recognized exam required to study in Canada, which tests your reading, listening, writing, and speaking skills. The more competitive programs in Canada may require a TOEFL score of 110 and above. However, some programs in Canada may only require a TOEFL score of 80 to 90. Recently, Canadian universities have introduced the PTE as a form of examination for non-native English speakers. However, before applying for PTE, students must verify whether this exam is recognized by your university of choice, as it still isn't as accepted as the former 2 exams. PTE tests the reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills of the students. PTE is designed in such a way that every question usually tests 2 skills together, like listening and reading and speaking. The average PTE score required to study in a Canadian university is above 55, but it is suggested to aim for the highest score of a 70. Needless to say, a Canadian study permit is the most basic necessity for any student to pursue higher education in Canada. A study permit extends permission to international students to pursue education at designated learning institutions. The study permit is a document that the Government of Canada issues that allows foreign students to study at designated learning institutions in Canada. Generally, you will need to provide the following documents: a letter of acceptance from a designated learning institution, proof of financial support showing that you or a family family member can cover tuition fees and living expenses, a valid passport, proof of application fee payment, and a medical examination report if required. Once all the necessary documents have been gathered, you will need to apply for a study permit through the Citizenship and Immigration Canada website. After the required documents have been submitted, you will also be required to appear for a personal interview at the Canadian Embassy or Consulate. It is important that a study permit is not a visa and does not by itself allow you to travel to or enter Canada. Student visas in Canada fall under two categories: SDS, the Student Direct Stream, and non-SDS. Both the visa categories have their own set of requirements and features that we recommend are important for study in Canada aspirants to know. Here's a summary of the key requirements for each. To qualify for the Student Direct Stream, you must meet several requirements. First, you need to be illegally residing in one of the eligible countries. Additionally, you must provide an acceptance letter from a designated learning institution in Canada and proof of payment for your first year of tuition. You are also required to present a guaranteed investment certificate of 10,000 Canadian dollars. Qualifying language test scores such as the IELTS academic score with a minimum overall band of 6.0 are necessary. Depending on your situation, a medical exam and police certificate might also be required. Lastly, you should submit recent academic transcripts. For non-SDS requirements, you will need to provide the following: an acceptance letter from a Canadian institution, proof of financial capacity to cover both tuition and living expenses, language proficiency test scores, academic transcripts, proof of tuition fee payment, work experience documentation if applicable, and medical exam results. The SDS stream aims to provide a more streamlined application process for eligible students, while the non-SDS route remains available as a general application pathway for all international students seeking to study in Canada. There are pros and cons to both routes. SDS offers faster processing, which is typically 20 to 45 days, compared to non-SDS, which can take several months. SDS has a stricter financial requirement with a guaranteed investment certificate of $10,000. SDS is only available to residents of specific countries. Non-SDS may require more extensive documentation. See the pinned comments for more information on these two methods.
Hi, my name is Jathin, and I'm a U2 Honors Physiology student at McGill University in Montreal, and I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts in the United States. And I'd say that the only real difficulty in terms of applying to Canadian schools is getting your travel documents in on time, because those can take several months. So the last thing that you want to end up doing is having to postpone your start just because you didn't get your paperwork in time. In terms of the actual application, it was much easier than having to write all these essays for the US schools. It was just go in, put in your grades, put in your classes and your test scores, and you send it. So that made it very appealing to apply to Canadian schools. But definitely, as soon as you decide that you're going to go to those schools, send in your student visa application. And for those of you who are going to Quebec, your CAQ, because those will take months and months to apply. And yeah, schools in Canada are great. I'm having a great time, so definitely apply.
The cost of studying in Canada can vary depending on several factors, such as the choice of institution, program of study, location, and personal lifestyle choices of a student. Generally, international students should budget for the following 5 expenses. The first and most obvious expense you can take care of is your tuition. The average undergraduate international tuition fee in Canada is around $30,000 per year. After that, it's also important to account for your accommodation, which varies depending on the type of housing and location. On-campus housing could range between $500 to $2,000 per month. Generally, accommodation is more expensive in provinces like Ontario and British Columbia, particularly in Toronto and Vancouver. You must account for food and groceries as well, which will set you back by $300 to $800 Canadian dollars per month. International students are required to have health insurance while studying in Canada. The cost of insurance is approximately $600 to $800 per year. The cost of transportation depends on the location of your institution and your personal choices. A monthly bus pass could cost between $80 to $120 per month. Some universities may also provide you with a yearly bus pass for a heavily discounted price. Finally, your professors may require you to purchase textbooks and licensing for services used for your assignments, which could range from 0 to 150 Canadian dollars per course. This breakdown of costs only offers a normalized overview of the expenses. The actual expenses are subject to vary, taking into account a host of factors applicable on a case-to-case basis. Across everything from your guaranteed investment certificate to your tuition, it costs a lot to be able to study in Canada. To lessen this financial burden, you should look forward to a large selection of Canadian universities scholarships dedicated towards international students. Even the smallest scholarships can significantly reduce the overall expenses if you apply. Having said that, it is important that you know about all the scholarships for study abroad offered by Canadian universities and colleges. At the same time, the key is to apply for these scholarships on time and in a systematic manner. You do not want to miss your scholarship deadlines, as each dollar counts. You can often find specific scholarships dedicated to your nationality, ethnicity, gender, accommodations, and etc. This can be done before your term at the university starts or during your term. If you aren't familiar with what an intake is, it is a specific time that you're meant to begin your program. The term can often be used interchangeably with term, semester, session, etc. Canadian universities have 3 intakes. The fall intake starts in the month of September and goes on until the months of December/January. The winter intake starts in the months of January and goes on till the month of May. The summer intake starts in the months of May and goes on till August. Canada boasts a diverse and vibrant lifestyle shaped by its varied climate, cultural norms, customs, and languages. The weather in Canada varies significantly across its vast geography, with regions experiencing everything from temperate conditions to harsh winters. Coastal areas like British Columbia have milder climates, while the prairie provinces can face extreme cold and snow in the winter. Average temperatures can range from -30 degrees Celsius in the Northern Territories during winter to over 30 degrees Celsius in the summer in southern regions. You'll need to adapt to varying temperatures throughout the year, from below freezing in winter to potentially hot and humid in the summer. English and French are the official languages, with English being more widely spoken in most areas. Canadian culture values politeness, diversity, and inclusivity. You'll likely encounter a mix of cultures and cuisines due to Canada's multicultural nature. Outside of studies, you can enjoy an active social life, participate in campus activities, and explore Canada's natural beauty. Cities offer vibrant nightlife and entertainment options, often with student discounts available. It's common for international students to work part-time, up to 20 hours per week, to help with living expenses. You'll need to adjust to Canadian customs like tipping in restaurants, respecting personal space, and being punctual. Overall, Canada offers a welcoming environment for international students, combining educational opportunities with a high quality of life.
I'm really enjoying my time here. When it comes to asking why I chose McGill over other schools in the United States and Canada, because it's cheaper here for me as an international student compared to the States, and also it's much easier to get the study permit here as opposed to the United States, at least for me in 2022. You do want to get your documents very soon though, because the CAQ takes at least 4 months to come if you're applying to Quebec, and if not, the study permit usually takes 2 months to come. At McGill, I'm having a great time. The people are super welcoming here. Made a lot of friends in the past 2 years. I'm learning a lot, and I don't regret my decision of coming here in Canada.
International student welcoming programs in Canada are comprehensive initiatives designed to help new international students acclimate to their new academic and cultural environment. Universities and colleges organize orientation events specifically for international students. These sessions cover essential information about campus life, academic expectations, health insurance, immigration regulations, and cultural adjustments. Many institutions offer both online and in-person orientation options to accommodate students arriving at different times. Many Canadian institutions pair new international students with current students who serve as mentors. These programs, such as the Peer Guide program at Western, help newcomers navigate campus life, understand local customs, and build social connections. To foster a sense of community and help international students meet their peers, universities often host social gatherings, cultural celebrations, and networking events. For example, Queen's University hosts a global cafe, providing opportunities for international and domestic students to interact. English conversation programs are common, offering international students the chance to practice their language skills in a supportive environment. These programs help students improve their English proficiency and gain confidence in communicating. We hope you gained valuable insights from our guide for international students interested in Canadian pre-med. Being one of the most beloved study abroad destinations in the world, Canada is a wonderful country to pursue your postgraduate studies in medicine. On behalf of the PUMP team, we wish you the best of luck with your application. If you have any questions about this program or other Canadian pre-med programs, feel free to join our undergraduate admissions Discord server, which is pinned in the comments, as well as on our official website and Instagram page. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you in our next video.